Thank you for joining us on the Go Virtual Career Pathway Conference. I'm Lena Poplin-Vera-Matis from San Diego County Office of Education and will be your room host and moderator today. We ask that all attendees keep themselves muted unless asked otherwise during the presentation, but please feel free to use the Q&A to ask questions during the session. I'd like to introduce Christine Marie Frey with the presentation Brainxp System of H.O.P.E. There you go, Christine.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm very excited to be here virtually, but still being able to present for you guys. So my presentation is called Teens Helping Teens Cope with Mental Health Challenges. I am going to be talking about my advocacy project, Brainxp, along with our system of hope. So this is the rundown. In this presentation, you're going to learn my system for maintaining a healthy mind. You're going to discover the secret of finding courage within. Utilize skills that will transform your coping strategies, and we're all going to become the advocates that we always wish that we had. But the best part about all this is you can apply all of these strategies immediately. Now, I do understand there'll be a Q&A at the end, so if you guys are in the session and can ask questions, I'd love to answer them, but I know there's a little bit of some hiccups with that, so we'll just see how it goes. But you're more than welcome to email me if you have any questions as well. So I do want to mention that we are doing a special Instagram giveaway today. So I will be picking one random follower to win an Amazon gift card. It's digital. So all you have to do to enter this giveaway is follow Brainxp Project on Instagram. If you want to double your chances of winning, also follow I am Christine XP. I will be picking the winner at 5 p.m. today. So if you don't have your phone right now, or you can't do it right this second, just be sure to do it before 5 p.m. today. So I thought we'd get right on into it. What is Brainxp? So Brainxp stands for Brain Expanded. It is the new way of looking at mental illness. So rather than labeling each other as sick or crazy or psycho, we just acknowledge that our brains are simply expanded. So we are the new teen movement. We're changing the language of mental health by focusing on positivity. In a very, very brief nutshell, we're teens helping teens. So my name is Christine Marie Frey. You can call me Christine or Christine XP, and I'm the founder of Brainxp. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm an international award-winning author. We'll talk about my book a little bit later in the presentation. I'm also a mental health blogger and vlogger. I'm a songwriter. I'm a public speaker. But out of everything on this list, I'm most proud of that I'm my own mental health survivor, as I know a lot of you guys are as well. So this is my disclaimer. The best teacher I've ever had is my lived experience. So I'm not really trained in all this, but I have lived experience, and that shapes everything about Brainxp. My realizations, my ambition, and my struggles drive me to teach other people, which includes all of you today. So I thought we'd kind of start by getting to know me a little bit so you can trust what I'm saying. So in my early life, when I was very little, I was very happy. I was a straight A student. I had tons of friends. I had close friends. I was a social butterfly. I was really involved with everything. I was very interactive. I played all the sports you can think of, went to all the extracurricular activities, Girl Scouts, dance, talent show. I mean, I was involved with everything. Then I hit middle school, and in middle school, I discovered what anxiety is. Now, when I got into 6th grade, I noticed that one time I went on a sleepover, and I got this pit in my stomach. I was at my best friend's house. I've been there many times before, but I got this pit in my stomach, and I started to panic. I didn't know what to do. And what I realized was that I was experiencing anxiety. So after going home from a sleepover at midnight 3 times in a row, I decided that we needed to do something about this anxiety issue because I had 6th grade camp coming up 7 months later from when this issue started. So my mom put me into counseling, and it was really, really weird at first because I'm not used to talking about my thoughts and my feelings and my actions and all that stuff, but that's exactly what you do in counseling. So it was really weird, but it was very helpful. So I worked in counseling for 7 months leading up to 6th grade camp. I went on the camping trip, and it was so much fun. It was a blast. The reason why I had to work up to being able to go to that camping trip was because at my school, it's mandatory to go to 6th grade camp. You're 2 hours away from home. You're not with your parents. You're just with your teacher and your classmates. I'm sure you guys know. And you're basically going on a bunch of sleepovers, and I couldn't get through one. So that's why I went to counseling. That's why I worked up to the camping trip, and it was a blast. It was a success. It went so amazing. So because of that, I stopped going to counseling. I figured that everything was fixed. But then I got into the summer after sixth grade, and it wasn't a very good summer. I broke my ankle for the second time that summer. And the reason why that's important is because I was on a competitive club soccer team. And for those of us who know about competitive club sports and teams like that, they're not really like your team. They're almost like your family. You're with them so much. You go to practices, games, tournaments, you travel with them. They're like your second family. So when I broke my ankle for the second time, I had to leave my soccer team and I lost a lot of friendships there. So it wasn't a very good summer. Going into seventh grade, after that summer, I was feeling really lonely, kind of just sad. I wasn't completely sure why, but I was just kind of lonely and sad. So in seventh grade, I started to isolate a lot. I never raised my hand in class anymore. I only spoke when someone spoke to me. I started crying every single day at school, in class, at the lunch tables, on breaks at recess and stuff. I was just very, very sad. And I realized that what I was experiencing was depression. So now I know what anxiety is from sixth grade. And in seventh grade, I learned what depression is. So I realized that this was mainly a school issue. I was not having money troubles at home. I was crying and I was upset at school. So my teacher was the first person to notice. And he tried to approach me really calmly, really kindly, and just ask me, like, hey, what's going on? You don't seem like yourself. You're crying, you're upset. And I tried to explain what was happening, but I really didn't know. I didn't understand what was happening. So after I couldn't really explain it or express it in the way I needed to, my teacher decided to call my mom and let her know that there was something very wrong. And when she did that, or when he did that, she decided to put me into counseling again. So I started going to counseling, but this time working more in the depression area. And about 2 sessions into my new counseling sessions, I told my therapist, I said, yeah, it is kind of weird, but besides being sad and not wanting to talk to people and feeling alone, sometimes I do see these shadows on the ground, but the sun isn't out. And it's really weird because I don't know how there could be a shadow on the ground. And sometimes I'll look into my friend's eyes and they'll look completely dark, like they're completely black, but that's not the way her eyes should look. So I told that to my therapist, and my therapist looked at me and she said, you know what? I need to refer you to an early psychosis prevention center. And I was like, what is that? Like, I had no idea what she was talking about. So she referred me to this early psychosis prevention center, and I didn't know what psychosis was. So that's what they're trying to prevent at that center. So I went home that day and I looked up online. I said, what is psychosis? And I realized it's basically when your mind is detached from reality at times. So I finally was like, that makes sense. There's an explanation for what's happening. My mind is detached with reality at times. So that was really interesting for me to be able to learn that there was an explanation behind everything. And so I started working at that early psychosis prevention center, and that was when I started getting the help that I really needed. Now, when I was in seventh grade and eighth grade, so about 12 years old and 13 years old, these were my main challenges. I was self-harming, I was running away from home, I was hospitalized, and eventually I was expelled from my school about 6 months, I believe, before graduation. So I was in treatment, guys. I was getting all kinds of therapy, I was getting prescribed meds, but I was still very lonely. I was still very scared. I had hardly any friends left, so I had no teen to talk to or to relate to. But I'm here to say there's no right or wrong path to a healthy mind, but I don't want any of you guys to have to go through what I did to figure it out. So there is a better way. I started my journey the hard way. I kept quiet. I minded my own business. I waited for my symptoms to settle, but they never did. I only acted when things got too far, such as self-harming and running away from home. I didn't have a guide to navigate the struggle. I want to share with you all today the better way. What if I told you that you could enter into an open community and share your struggles? Connect with individuals who have walked in your shoes. They might still be walking in them right now. Preemptively battle the demons within and be a light for future teens and our future generations to come. This all sounded so great to me, but I didn't really know how to achieve it. But now I do. I sat down and I thought about it and I said, what did I do to get through these struggles? And what I did was I used something called Brainxp System of Hope. It's unique to Brainxp. It's something that I created with my mom. It's a 4-step process. It is a system providing you hope and encouragement to keep going and to never give up. And the 4 steps stand for hope. It's called healthy mind, open sharing, positive coping, and then my favorite one is the last step, E, empowerment. Now I'm going to go into each of these steps just a little bit more in depth so you can get an idea of how the system actually works. So a healthy mind is the first step, it's the H, and this is where we build the foundation. So how do we build the foundation? How do we build a healthy mind? Well, this is just a brief list of the things that I do. Obviously, your list might be different. You can add to this list, but this is just what I do to build a healthy mind. I exercise, I eat healthy, I get enough sleep. That's probably the hardest one for me. I like to stay up and watch Netflix and stuff, but getting sleep is very important. Socializing, completing schoolwork or job work, sticking to a schedule and a routine. These are just the things that I do to build a healthy mind. Of course, your list might be different, so please add to it. But this is just what I do. Going on to the next step is open sharing. And so we've built the foundation with the healthy mind. Now we're going to share the foundation. So the best way I can explain open sharing is kind of like with this example. I tend to put up an invisible wall that blocks out everyone from my life, and I can't be hurt by them. I can't feel pain. I'm just numb. I don't feel anything. It's this invisible wall that I've put up. But I don't want to live with that wall forever. So open sharing is not breaking that wall down. It's not exposing yourself to the entire world and explaining all your struggles to everyone. All it is cracking that wall so that you can eventually push it down yourself. So how do we do that? Well, I say we have to talk about it. Talk about our struggles. Try not to internalize. There's always a blow up point when you internalize. I know for myself, there's always a blow up point and it's never good. So I say we can start small because it's so hard to do these things about talking about our struggles and not internalizing. So I say we should start small. So I told my friend about my struggles. Now, of course, this wasn't a crisis or an emergency, but I just told her, you know what? I am having a terrible day today. And I just kind of feel lonely and I'm just not having a good time. And I would just tell her that. Every time something was just not going right, I tell her that. And the amount of support I would get from her is absolutely amazing. It's incredible. And all I had to do was openly share just a little bit. I didn't have to expose everything. I just shared that I'm having a bad day. And I got the support. It was incredible. And of course, we want to be accepting of help because it's a sign of strength, not weakness. Moving on to the third step, it is positive coping. So we have built the foundation with our healthy mind. We are sharing the foundation with open sharing. Now we need to maintain everything that we've just done, and we do that through positive coping. So positive coping, again, this is a very brief list of some coping skills. Being with people is such a good coping skill for myself. I don't know if it's the same thing for you guys, but if you feel alone, being with people takes that emptiness away. And also helping other people, that leaves you with a really good feeling as well. There's also personal coping skills like creativity, mindfulness, positive everyday practices like gratitude. But where is the place that you can find all of these coping skills? Well, we have something called Brainxp's Teen Toolbox. You can find it on our website, brainxp.org. And basically, it's a massive list of useful coping skills that you can turn to during hardship. So in our Teen Toolbox, you'll find this master list, so many coping skills. Pick one, try it out. Doesn't work, it's okay. You can pick a new one. You can try that out. Doesn't work, that's okay. Pick a new one. There's going to be something there for you, and it's just trial and error according to how you can find how it works to you, for you and for your life. So in this Teen Toolbox, we not only have the master list of coping skills, but we also have a 5-part coping skill series that teaches you how you can use the coping skills effectively. So definitely check that out if you're interested. It's on brainxp.org, and it's the Teen Toolbox. And lastly, we have the last step in our system of hope, and that is my favorite one. It is empowerment. So we have built our healthy mind, we're building the foundation, we have shared the foundation, we are maintaining the foundation. Now we're going to become our own advocates through empowerment. So for empowerment, I actually have a 3-step process just within this empowerment section. You do not have to do all these steps. You do not have to do it in this order, but this is just what I do. I learned to advocate for a cause. My cause is mental health. Yours might be different. Then I learned to advocate for myself. Then I learned to advocate for others. Now, the best thing about this is that we want to encourage others to talk positively, acknowledge mental health challenges in positive ways, and acknowledge that our brains are simply expanded. Now, I really don't like talking about stigma just because it's such an icky term and it's just not a good thing, but we have to talk about it because we have to know what it does to us. So stigma prevents us from talking about mental health challenges. It shames us into silence, and the result of that is fear to seek treatment. That's not a good thing. So I say we must dramatically change the language of mental health. Now, toward the beginning of the presentation, I said we are changing the language of mental health by focusing on positivity. Well, in order to change the language, we have to know how powerful it is. So people struggling with mental health challenges possess incredibly positive qualities that often go overlooked and unnoticed. And it's time for us to acknowledge them. We're intellectual, we're creative, we're compassionate, we're empathetic, we lead inspirational lives. These things need to be recognized. Now, Brainxp is based off of one truth, and that is that teens relate to each other more than to adults. We need a deeper level of support coming from our own age group. I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. The impact of friendships is so important because I lost all of my friends. I had no teen to talk to and no teen to relate to. But by advocating for Brainxp's mission, we can absolutely solve this problem. So what is Brainxp's mission? Brainxp's mission is to promote the importance of mental health education in all of our schools and to promote the critical need, and I emphasize need because this is not just something that kids want, it's something that is needed. Student-to-student peer programs in all of our school systems. That is how we are teens helping teens. We're helping each other. And I always put this slide in the presentation because understanding is greater than fear. The more we understand, the less we fear. So understanding will eliminate the fear of mental illness. Now there is a missing piece. I tried to find materials from other teenagers to read or watch, such as books, articles, videos, all those things, so that I could learn from someone my own age who is in a similar situation as me. But I couldn't find these materials. They were not easily accessible. That's when I decided to write my book. So when I was 16, I wrote Brainxp, Living with Mental Illness, A Young Teenager's Perspective. This book is interesting because it's an autobiography. It's birth to 16 years old of my life, and it's 10 chapters worth of my journey, mental health challenges, regular struggles of being a teenager, just everything has gone into this book. I laid it all out there, the honest truth for everybody, and it's just my perspective on mental health as well. So it's 10 chapters worth, but the cool thing about this book is that it's not just my journey. In the back of the book, my mom wrote a chapter from her perspective, my friend wrote a couple of pages from her perspective, and my grandparents did the same. So everyone has a piece in this book. It's not just the person who's struggling. Now, the Brainxp community is by far the best part about Brainxp. And don't forget, I'm going to be putting out all of the contact information at the end of the presentation. So if you want to learn how to join the Brainxp community and all that stuff, you'll see that at the end of the presentation. But basically, we're an all-inclusive teen mental health community. We are online and in person. Unfortunately, with COVID happening right now, we can't do our in-person events and meetups and all that, but we are definitely online and going strong online right now. We're on a journey of hope and change, and we're dedicated to ending the stigma surrounding our teenage world today. Now, what does Brainxp, like our actual project, offer? So we have our Brainxp website, brainxp.org, with our resources, helpful content specifically for teens. We also have our free newsletter sign up. So all you have to do is sign up on our website, put your email in, it's completely free. You'll get our free updates, free guides, free Brainxp content, so much more. We also have live presentations and events. Obviously, we're doing them virtually right now, but we always do live presentations when things are going good in the world. We have content, blogs, videos, podcast episodes, all focused on teen topics, mental health related. And then we have music. A lot of the music that's out right now is my own music that's inspired by my lived experience, but we are starting to showcase our community members' music as well. So stay tuned for that because we're going to be showcasing a lot of our amazing community members. And then, of course, we have our social media spaces to connect. Now we are coming down to kind of the end of this presentation, and I really want to emphasize this part. It is our youth team. It's brand new. We are looking for youth volunteers, teenagers who are passionate about mental health. We are the youth team. We are leading Brainxp's mental health awareness campaigns and projects. So we are really running Brainxp together. And all we do is we meet via Zoom once a month. So it doesn't matter where you're at, we meet virtually and we plan all these projects, we plan all these campaigns. If you're interested in being a part of it, there's like no cost. It's just a fun thing for us to do together. Please send me a DM because we are doing such amazing things and it's brand new. And I'd love for you guys to be on it if you're interested. If you're on the fence and you're like, maybe I want some more info, maybe I want to do, maybe I don't, just don't hesitate to send me a DM on Instagram because I really want to give you the information so you can make your decision and know what it's about. So the youth team is so cool. We've started it up, we're going strong, and I'd love for you guys to be a part of it if you're interested. Now, our voices are absolutely being heard in our community, and I like to end the presentation just by saying that we have won a lot of awards, international, local awards, and we've taken home some really, really cool projects and just awards in general, and just recognition for our community. The one thing that's really, really cool about Brainxp is the last thing you see at the bottom of the screen, and that is we have our own day. It's called Brainxp Day, proclaimed by Mayor Kevin Faulconer as April 28th in the city of San Diego. Every single year, it's Brainxp Day. So we have a lot of cool stuff planned that we always do on that day. And if you're on the youth team, we're working on that together very soon. So please, please don't hesitate to send me a DM about that youth team. And also just stay tuned for all the announcements and upcoming things happening, especially like Brainxp Day, because it's a lot of fun. And with that being said, I want to end this presentation by saying welcome to the Brainxp community. I hope you feel at home. Thank you guys so much for listening. I thought we had a Q&A. I'm not sure if we're doing it or not. I saved some time for that. But I do want to put this up on the screen. So if any of you guys need to take a picture or screenshot the screen, I believe you guys might need it for verification. Whatever it is, I want to give you guys an opportunity to do that. And then I'll put up the contact information. But other than that, I'm just so happy that you guys listened to me today and took some time to hear what I have to say about mental health and leadership. And with that, please screenshot this or take a photo. I'll put up the contact information, and if there's any questions, I can answer them. I'm not sure if we're doing the Q&A or not. So yeah, I think I'll hand it back to our hosts if no one has any questions.
Thank you, Christine, for your presentation. And the attendees will receive a daily evaluation because their feedback is very important to us. Other than that, did you want to put up your contact slide in case they need to take
Absolutely,
a screenshot of that as well? Okay, great.
So here is all the information. And yeah, I believe that the Q&A has been either not doing it or whatever. I don't know exactly what's happening with it, but if you guys have any questions that you want to ask me, please just send me a DM on Instagram, or you can email me at brainxpproject@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to answer your questions that way as well.